All right, so hello, my antisocial butterflies. I have a special guest with me today, Robbie Rockington.
What's up?
What's up, boo? How are you?
How you doing, darling?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm well. I'm glad to be here on
I'm
this
so
Friday evening.
happy to have you here. So thank you so much for joining me on this interview. I do have to preface this by saying that I actually know Robbie through Gabe, aka Cutie, who is in my legendary media group, and that kid is hysterical. So I know any kind of friend of Gabe's that's automatically a friend of mine. This is definitely going to be a good interview because I love Gabe's energy and I know he surrounds himself with good people. So
Yeah.
it's going to be
That's
fine.
my girl, Cutie with a
Yes.
G.
It's your girl. It's your boy, Judy. It's your boy, Gabe, aka
That's
Cutie.
right.
Right? That's what he's all
Yes.
about.
And I love everything that you guys are doing in terms of your media group and just your own brands. Like we need, like people like myself need you guys, like because otherwise, who's gonna cover us? You know what I mean? Who's gonna interview us? Who's gonna talk to us? So we appreciate you, and it's only up from here, sugar.
Absolutely. And thank you. And I appreciate you guys because without creatives like yourself, who the hell am I going to interview? Right? Like, I'm just going to sit in my room and talk to myself all day. No, that's not how this works. We're,
Exactly. I
we're
mean, I
trying.
listen to you.
Oh, thank you. I know. Well, I was just at my friend's the other day, and he's like, because he's not really on social media. He's like, what the hell? I didn't know that you had a YouTube page. What? And he like literally pulled up YouTube on his TV, and he's like, Katie, this is like so relaxing. Like, I'm gonna fall asleep to listen to you. I'm like, what? Like, but I was also low key flattered. I was like, all right, thanks.
Right.
Like, I'm like, what up? I'm like on the big screen in your living room now. Like, I felt like low key famous, right?
Yes, honey.
So, well, enough about me, enough about Gabe. Robbie, tell us about yourself. That's what you're here for. It's all about you tonight.
So I'm Robbie. My name is Robbie Rockington. You can call me Robbie, obviously. I am from New Jersey. By way, right now I'm in the Bronx. So I moved to the city. Um, I'm here just, getting my life, child. Get in love and working on my 9 to 5, my professional career, and obviously working on my music. Um, I've been doing music for years. I'm a singer, songwriter, rapper, so pretty much do it all. Getting into production and things like that. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I'm sure we'll get into some more, but just around the way, boy.
I love it. And what are you sipping on tonight? That looks rather refreshing.
We're gonna call it a rocktail, a Robbie Rock.
Oh, a rocktail. I like that. I love that.
All the rocks that melted, honey. But yes, it's a rum and I got a cute little juice in there. Just something
I
simple.
love that. No, it's super hot out, so it's nice and refreshing to just sit back and chill and hang out and drink that
Yeah,
rocktail.
I
I
couldn't.
love it. So you just said that you moved to the Bronx recently, right?
Well, I've been here a year, so I
Okay.
mean, it's still being in Jersey my whole life. Like that's still pretty recent. But I've been here a year. Being here, I've been able to, transition and as far as my professional career and my music and my love life, and um, I was able to finish the album up here. So, it's a change of scenery, but well needed. So yeah, I've been in the Bronx for a year, boogie down girl.
Look at you. Look at you. So, growing up in New Jersey, I mean, obviously you had access to New York City pretty easily, but like, how do you feel now living in the Bronx has changed your career of where you want to be? Because I feel like the New York City in itself, no matter what borough you're in, like there's talent on every block. So, how do you feel like that really changed the path that you're trying to go? Because obviously you're trying to go up from here. So that's
Mhm.
probably a big reason why you moved to the Bronx, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the reasons. But it's definitely like you said, being in Jersey, you have access to the city. But for me, when I would come to the city, it would never be for work. It would be for play, to go out and just enjoy. So being up here is it's better because it's like you have access to the city, like it's literally right there. So as far as shoots and um, I mean, no one's really performing right now, but at the time, performances and stuff, like you can literally during the week book a gig and, it's not really out the way. So it's definitely, just being in the heart of it is a plus. Um, for sure. I mean, it's definitely been a transition though. So I didn't just come here and it was like everything was like I had to I'm still figuring it out. So it's different, but it's good. It's like a good thing. I'm
It was
kind
a
of like
good move.
chill now. If you would have asked me like maybe 6 months ago, it would have been like I'm still adjusting, but I'm pretty adjusted now at this point.
So would you call Bronx home, or do you still feel like Jersey really is home?
No, I'm definitely a Jersey boy, but
Always and forever. Okay.
I will say that I did come to the perfect borough for me. Like I feel like if I would have moved to Brooklyn or Queens, it would have not felt as homey, if that makes sense.
Totally.
I mean, I'm around my people, or my Boricuas, who think I'm Dominican. I definitely feel a sense of home here for sure.
So you feel like, the culture, the environment, like everything is built for you, which is good because that's how you're going to thrive professionally, musically, all of that. You just have to be comfortable wherever you are. And I feel like, even just stepping out of your apartment, like you're going to find inspiration for the next song or what you're going to be doing, write a lyric, do something. I mean, because living in that type of environment, you have, like, you can see art in everything that you look at.
Absolutely.
In so many different forms. Yeah.
And that's what I love. I mean, I would always recommend to any, especially a creative, but anyone, live at least 1 year or try it because it's expensive. But whether you go to school or if you know a relative or you get a job opportunity, try to live at least 1 year of your 20s in New York City. It will change your life. For me, it hasn't changed mine yet, but I don't plan to be here just for a year because it's literally you have access to everything. Like you have the city. You also, if you're from like Jersey or like a suburban area, you still have those areas up here. You have the beaches, so you pretty much have a little bit of everything. Upstate is like a bunch of land, so it depends like where you want to go. But I would definitely recommend the city to anyone creative in their 20s. 1 year, give it 1 year.
And what about old people like me who are 35?
Girl, come on down. You can come too, honey. But no, I just say because
I'm
I
just
think,
kidding.
but like once you get in your 30s, it's like you kind of figured it out. If
You're more settled. Yeah.
Yeah.
So excellent. So speaking of your music, let's dive into that because you have some current projects out. I've been listening to them, your songs. I'm like, oh, hey, Apple Music, what's up? I've been creeping on you on there. So talk about some of the new projects or new songs that you have that you've currently been working on.
Yes, yes. So I do have a bunch of material and content on all streaming platforms. Just search Robbie Rockington. My most recent releases, the beginning, well, actually not the beginning. It was supposed to be the beginning of the year, but maybe like April or March. I don't even know what I released it at this point. I released 2 singles, like an A-side, B-side, called 2020. That's the one record. And then another record called Rooftop Flows. Where just I've been working on my album Real One, which will be out very very soon. We're literally tying up the single and things like that right now, so that'll I haven't really been active on social media because I've been kind of working on things behind the scenes, but those are coming. But prior to releasing the project, I wanted to give people, because a lot of the songs are like, it's been a 3-year process, so a lot of the songs are from the last 3 years. So I just had a bunch of new stuff tucked in the vault, and I wanted to release that this year. So you have 2020 and Rooftop Flows, Polar Opposite Records. So those are out there, but my album Real One is coming. It's literally been like a roller coaster, a 3-year roller coaster, and we're literally like coming into the close. So it's gonna be exciting.
Now, would you say from the 3 years that you started recording these songs up until now, like, has your sound evolved? I mean, because obviously, like, lyrics are going to get better, beats are going to get better. You know what you're doing more in the industry now, but like, would you say that you have a specific sound? Are you kind of, you know, more the R&B one type, like time, and then you're a rap another? Like, how would you kind of define your sound?
So I would, I'll start that off by saying,
I know I just asked you like 7 questions in one. So.
no, it's fine. I'm just like, how do I want to tackle this? I love this question. As I make a refill.
Yes, absolutely. And like bottomless refills or whatever it is, wherever you go. Yes.
Yes, honey. But no, so my sound is definitely very well versed. For me, I would always tell people I'm a songwriter first. So when I say that, I basically say you can throw any track at me, any beat at me, and as long as I, feel it and I gravitate toward it, to be honest with you, I haven't physically written lyrics down in a long time. If I do, obviously I type it in my phone, but I like to literally put a beat on and just like let it flow, and like I'll keep restarting it and going over, and eventually I'll remember it. And then once I start finalizing or get in the studio, I'll write it down for obvious reasons. But my sound definitely can be very well versed. Like I said, I rap and sing, so I kind of bridge the gap between hip hop and R&B. I try to pretty much develop a sound that a lot of artists are actually doing now. So sorry, the Bronx, honey.
I'm like, that's motorcycle gang.
Everything else, so just don't mind it, child.
Don't even worry. I'm like, it's totally fine. No worries at all. I'm like,
yeah. So like, I like to tell people like I like to be that artist that you don't need a feature. So like I can literally rap my verses, sing my own choruses, and literally just do my own thing and have my own sound. So that's the first part. The second part of the question, I definitely do feel that my sound has grown tremendously from the beginning of the project till now. Hence why it's been kind of like a stop and go thing, because I would not just new beats or new lyrics, sorry, but new experiences as well kind of came along the way. And I would stumble across beats, or people would send me beats, and literally now the project has went from one vibe to a whole different vibe. So I would say my sound has grown. Just me as a producer, and my my track selection has grown. My ear for the right beats and me arranging everything has grown. I would hope in 3 years there's growth. The only thing is just, it's going to be amazing people seeing it and just seeing it from the final stage. Like I'm going to release some behind the scenes where people will see the process, and then people will hear through the songs and some unreleased things that I'm going to release. They'll hear the growth, but the project literally from the last 3 years came together as a cohesive vibe. Like it's just like a body of work. I take you from high energy to some moody stuff, to some real rap, to fun stuff. Like I'm just taking you everywhere with this. So real one coming soon. Can't wait.
so on this journey of the 2020, the rooftop flows, real one, you're going to take me to the moment where I could be like in my feelings, like crying over some dude, like, oh, I'm sad, to all of a sudden like, fuck yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like you're giving me both of that side. That's what I'm kind of gaining from it. You're going to give me like the soft stuff, but also like the hardcore stuff, right?
Absolutely. So real one, just really quick. It stemmed from like two projects that I started. A project called Real and a project called One. Basically, Real was the EP, and then One was the album. One, I wanted it to be called One because I felt I was becoming one with myself. For me, it was like being back to square one with music. Like I wasn't making music for what people wanted to hear. It was more so the music that I wanted to hear for myself and that I wanted to make. So the number one just really like kind of stuck out. but then like something like somewhere along the lines, the songs just kind of meshed, and I just brought the rap with the R&B, and it became Real One. And then obviously from that concept, along the way, I was able to find myself, like the real me, become one with myself. And um, sometimes, especially in entertainment, like people give a facade. That's why there's people like Cardi B who I love, because she's gonna be the same girl from the Bronx, like regardless, like no matter how big she gets, and it's gonna come with its pros and cons, but for the most part, it's gonna be peaceful for her because she's staying true to herself. So Real One was really important for me to talk about stuff that's true to me. Like I would have never spoken about, my relationship in a song because, I would be so worried about what if this person hears it. Or, I wouldn't feel, obliged to say certain things because it's like, he's not on yet. Like he's, that's a little cocky or, braggadocious, but you just have to be yourself, and it's just finding yourself, whether it be finding your power, finding your peace, finding love, um, just finding the real you. So yeah, you'll start the project off with, some vibes, like introduction, and then I take you to like, I turn it up, and then I'm gonna wind it down, and then I'm gonna take you on a love journey, and it's definitely a ride. For sure.
I love this journey that you're taking me on. That's so funny that you just mentioned that, because that's what I was thinking in my head. But I love this journey because as I'm a new listener to your work, I want to see what you've been working on for the last 3 years. So I'm actually really excited to see the evolution, like you talked about, of how much your sound has changed. And I love the diversity that you do have with the ability to rap, but also sing. I just think that that's incredible because not everybody can do that. Not everybody that, is a musician can do both. Either you just rap or you just sing. It's very rare that you actually have a good sound for both voices because they are two very different voices that you have. So, yeah.
And it is a struggle as a creative, it's one thing if someone brought me, an instrumental with an amazing hook, and all I had to do was sing the hook and write the verses according to the vibe of the hook. But to construct a song from literally just like writing lyrics, and then over time of doing it over and over, you kind of catch the melody, and then you're able to construct the hook, and then it's like, oh, this should be sung, and finding the sound to, like you said, make it all blend. That was a struggle. Literally, I have songs that I love that sonically didn't go with some of the other songs that just had to be on the project. So it's definitely a journey for sure. And along with finding my sound, again, like I found myself, and I'm still finding myself. Um, it's definitely like it's just a long time coming at this point. So I'm just excited to literally let life be what life is and just step into my glory with this project, because it's been like my last 3 years.
Well, and I'm proud of you, and I don't even know you like that, but I'm just so proud to see how much that
But that's real love, bro.
It is, because I can say, like, I'm proud of you musically, but I also have to speak of the fact that I'm proud of you personally, because you yourself moving, changing careers, like, whatever 9 to 5 it is, like, getting used to a new area, getting used to being able to like live life independently away from family, like all of those things that you don't think are like huge has made you who you are here in 2020 and will continue to change and evolve you. So like even just a simple move, like, yeah, Jersey's close enough to New York, but like moving away from your loved ones and that's even a huge step. Like, and people will downplay that, right? But that's incredible that you've been able to really like be aware of how much that you've changed in the last few years, and be proud of that, because I'm proud of you. So you're welcome. You're welcome. So talking about the diversity of like being able to sing, being able to rap, did you have certain influences in your life, whether it be musically or professional, personally or musically, that actually influenced you to create your sound or get into music? Like, how did you you know, decide like, oh my God, this is what my natural craft is. Like, I have to go for this?
I mean, I definitely, when I was young, I probably didn't know it. Like, I didn't like know like this is my calling. But it was always my calling. And you know, my parents, they weren't musicians, but like my dad literally like when it came to hip hop, but even just R&B and old school R&B, like he had all types of albums and cassettes, and he would buy me, like I always stayed with some type of stereo or boom box where like it had to be like the radio, cassette, and CD. So
Yep.
like, because literally he had everything. The only thing we didn't have is he had vinyls, but not the vinyl players. So you know, I was always exposed to music and good music and feel good music, and then it became for me like an outlet. So I remember I used to sit and I would record like on the radio. Like I remember one in particular when Crazy in Love came out. Like I would record it and I would literally try to rewrite, you know, the song, like remix it. And so that's how I would like literally just start writing. And then um, you know, I would do my research as well, like how to become a better songwriter. So, you know, I started doing exercises and just writing my thoughts down and trying to turn them into melodies. You know, just literally like exposing myself to it and just doing it. I started surrounding myself with friends who, you know, literally like were doing the same thing and, you know, being in groups and things like that. As far as influences, I would definitely say like people like Jay-Z, Michael Jackson, Beyonce. Um, those are like among my greatest influences. You know, just based off of them being great performers. Jay-Z is more so molded all around for me, like as a businessman. You know, being a mogul, being like a rap icon, and still being like an activist, like and you know, a social activist. Like, so he's like all around like an influence for me. Beyonce and Michael Jackson, as far as performance, um, as far as being a songwriter, as well as being a songwriter and rapper and singer, I also pride myself in being a performer. So I definitely like look up to all the great performers. You know, the list goes on, but Beyonce and Michael Jackson definitely top it.
That's incredible. I am obsessed with Jay-Z. So the fact that you just said that he's like one of
Love
your
it.
top three, I'm like, this is why I liked you. This
Yeah,
is why I liked you.
he's like the top. I would say he's the top only because it's like if you had to pick one, like if someone had to say name one person, like just one person, like it could be musically perfect, like whatever, like it would definitely just be Jay-Z for me.
So hopefully one day he'll come out of retirement, even though he's already said a couple times like I'm not doing it. But we haven't heard some new songs from him. So I know you're not like big on having a feature, but like we're gonna try to put him on one of your songs.
Oh, that would be
Oh,
like, well, while we added, we're gonna get Beyonce. So me and him will do a verse and she'll do the hook. There you go. It's
yes,
a
and
hit.
then somehow Michael Jackson's hologram or whatever they were doing a few years ago will come out and it will be in the background as all of you guys are performing on stage together. Like that's my dream for you. So
Oh my God, that would be like, just don't even pinch me, honey. Don't be asking it.
I am obsessed. I absolutely love this. Yeah, and I do love Beyonce, but I will tell you that like I went to both like on the run tours that they did and I didn't truly appreciate her as much as I did until I saw her live. And I'm like, this is a whole experience. This is a whole moment. Like she is so ridiculously talented. And I've always loved her, like from Destiny's Child and then when she went solo. But like actually seeing her live and seeing how she has her choreography, how she's singing live, all of that stuff. I'm like, wow, she really is like such a strong, talented person. So I'm glad that she's also in your top three because yeah, she's definitely an idol to look up to.
It's one thing to hear someone's music or see their videos or see them on TV, and you know you may like it, you may not like it, but it's another thing to see someone live and you literally can see their hard work blood, sweat, and tears on, like, it's left on that stage. Like she's one of the performers. Chris Brown is another one. I didn't mention him, but he's someone I respect as well, because they leave themselves on that stage every single night. Like, literally, I mean, as a performer, I study her, so I've watched multiple shows of one particular tour just to see, her strategy and how she mixes it up, and it's consistent. She might add something here or there, but like the energy, it never dies down. Even if she misses a beat, you won't even notice it. So yeah, that's definitely important as a performer. Like, it doesn't matter if you like, someone likes your music, if they can go to your show and you can get their respect just from leaving it all on that stage, like that right there sells it.
No, for sure. And even just to like speak about that, when you study her, just think about the fact that there was that whole documentary about Homecoming. You saw her creative direction and how involved that she was in that entire project, and you know that the passion really is there, and you appreciate somebody's artwork so much more.
Yes.
Just because of that. So I love it. But I do want to kind of segue a little bit off of Beyonce, because again, it's about you tonight. It's not about other people.
Yes.
But you briefly mentioned a couple times more of the production side. So you are artist in the booth, but you're also an artist behind, the other side of the glass wall. So tell me a little bit about what you're getting into production wise and what you find enjoyable about that.
Yes. So obviously the album, I finished vocals and all of that stuff. So now we're in the mixing stage, the final mixing stage, mixing and mastering stage. So just for me, like, there's certain things that I hear before I lay the song down, and after laying certain songs down, there's things that you hear that I just had to like realize, like, only I can bring it to life. Like, you can tell your engineer like so much, like, oh, do this, do that, but like I had to literally, get programs and mix and edit things myself just to, get a feel for it. And in terms of just picking my own production and, trying to create my own production and arrangements, and outside of the creative production of it, but just the behind the business, being the executive producer of the whole project. Like, that's like another thing that, I 3 years in the making has been. Like, I could have dropped music, but it's like, do you really own it? Do you have your publishing? Do you own the beats? Like, certain things like that. So the 3 years has been a process of me becoming, stepping away from the artist. Like, I know I can be an artist. I know I can be a performer. I know I can, make songs all day, but it's like, when it comes to actually rolling it out and the production side of it, like, I can't wait on nobody. The music will never come out. So I had to really step into that side of it and kind of, put on my big boy shorts and make executive decisions when it came to the production and certain things. And then that led me into wanting to do other things. Like, I've been, trying to get into video production, because now the next step is creating visuals for the project. And I'm just the type of person, I love working with people, but I also like to get things done, and I like to be self-sufficient. So it's like, I'd rather learn it, invest in myself, and do it, and at least the art will be, from me, versus, waiting on a videographer, and then, they recorded it, now you waiting for them to turn around the first edit, and then they only give you one edit, so you got to figure out everything. Like, it's just, I'd rather be in charge of all of it.
Well, and it's nice to have that full creative control, literally from the visual aspect to the sound aspect. There's so many different things that go into being a recording artist. It's not just you getting into the studio and, hey, I'm going to sing this song, and then that's the end. There's so much more that goes into it. And I love the fact that you're truly investing in your talent and learning different areas about it, because you're only going to be stronger at the end of it, So I'm loving that. Now, talking about the visual aspect, okay? So I have a question for you, Mr. Rockington. Your fashion is like on point. So please tell me, yes, okay. I love the fact that you had mentioned before we even started recording, you're like, it is so hot in here because I'm wearing a tank top. the fact that you still threw on a hat, like, speaks volumes. I love that you're still willing to look cute even though you're like melting in your apartment. Okay, so like props to you.
Get you a fan, get you, something to dab. Oh, here we go. Something to
Yeah.
dab.
So the visuals for Real One, okay, so you have this project coming out, like, are you going to be on the cover of this rocking one of your amazing outfits? Because I am obsessed with your style, like the furs, the colors, everything that you have that you've been posting on your Instagram. I'm like, this kid's fire. I love his style, everything. So like, what are we going to expect visually from you from this project?
So that, in a perfect world, I obviously would love to just give everything fashion wise, with the visuals and everything with the project. However, part of the process has been trying to figure out, how to brand the project and what makes sense. So that's a big part of it that I'm definitely going to be collaborating, because I want, once the music is ready for people to hear, as far as um internally, like when I want to work with certain people as far as a stylist, I want people to hear it and literally be able to, if not see my vision, like come up with their own vision and literally collab in that way to bring everything to life. Like that's the one aspect that I'm not gonna try to fully take control over, because I want that aspect of it to kind of open up something else that maybe I wouldn't have. So I say that to say I want to definitely push the envelope with some of the looks. And I also want to strip down, in a sense of, there's a lot of records that, one, for example, my intro, that record is very stripped down, and my idea for that is definitely going to be edgy, but strict. Like it's going to be different. So I want when people to see it, I don't want them to see and be like, oh yeah, I kind of, we know he can dress, we kind of expect. I want it to be unexpected. So that is the one aspect of it that I am taking my time with, which is why I haven't done the photo shoots and things behind the project yet, because I'm still trying to really, pick certain people's brains and pick my own brain and really hone into what it is that I want to do, like how I want it to be. It's art, so I want it, even though it's music, I want it to be I want people to see Real One through the visual. So it's the fashion is going to be really important. It might have to be stripped down in some instances. I might have to push the envelope in others. So I'm going to definitely be working with people to try to bring that to life.
Yeah, and everything that you're saying, I'm literally, because I'm also, as much as I'm obsessed with Jay-Z, I'm like even more obsessed with Lady Gaga. So yeah, and I've watched her documentary on Netflix, 5'2", like, I don't know, like a solid 8,000 times in the last 3 years, right? I'm obsessed. Like, I literally put it on so I could fall asleep to it. Like, that's the kind of time I'm on, right? But she works with stylists, and like the shock value that she has, like showing up in a meat dress and in an egg, and she's doing this, and she's got blood all over herself for a paparazzi thing, and there's so much that she does that's so explosive. But her stylists were literally sitting down with her in this documentary, and this is when she was coming out with her album Joanne, which is a very different sound from hers.
Very stripped down.
Very stripped down, and her stylists were like, no, what we're gonna do for this is we're gonna bring it back to like a real like human side. And like her uniform during that time when they were launching Joanne was literally a black t-shirt and jeans. That's what they told her to wear. So that way almost became like her uniform in a sense of when she was out promoting this. So where she is into like the armadillo heels from Alexander McQueen that you're like, how does any human even walk in those?
Right.
To all these crazy things. And then she totally strips herself down. That sometimes is more of a shock value. So if people have been following you and listening to you for a while and see that you can dress, and then now you're stripping it so far back that people pay attention more to the music than to you, they're going to be like, oh my God, what's happening? And I think that in itself like creates the buzz. So it's pretty interesting. Yeah. Because I will say, I saw your Don't Rush TikTok challenge. Okay. And I'm like, all right, does Robbie have any friend in his circle that does not know how to dress? Because between the furs and the crocheted shirts and the colors, I'm like, he hangs out with such a fun group of people. I loved it.
I'm blessed. I mean, you have to like you can't be there's and you know there's people that will be that they would hang with people who aren't as fashionable or aren't as personable or social or have the biggest personalities just to be that one in the group, and that's whack. I'd rather when you're not competing with yourself, you're not competing with anyone. So you're able to surround yourself with strong-minded people, um, good-looking people, like whatever the case may be, and complement each other. Like my group of friends, we literally feed off of each other. We've been friends for years. Gabe, for example, he and I have been friends literally since elementary school.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you guys went all the way back that far.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have mutual circles, but literally when we got to high school and college, like we obviously got a lot closer, and it's been like ever since. So it's just, you gotta surround yourself with the right crowd.
And I think, like, exactly like you said, you feed off of each other. So if you were going to be the best dressed person out of a group of like 5 or 6 of your friends, and everybody's just like so basic, right? You don't find inspiration to want to dress up and be around them. So either you're going to look like a sore thumb, or you kind of like not become yourself and you strip down to blend in with them. So I love the fact that you guys kind of like encourage each other. Like, no, we're going to wake up every morning. We're going to like do our hair. We're going to trim the beard. We're going to dress to the nines today. And I love that, because that's the energy that you do attract. Because if you look good, you feel good, you're surrounding yourself with people that look good and feel good. There's nothing but positive energy from that. And it's not to say like you're vain because you're dressing up and looking good every day. No, it's just that the way that you want to present yourself every day is in a way that you're like, no, I care about myself, and it's not just the outside, it's the inside. So I love that.
And to that point, like even with my visuals, like it's my idea in my head, maybe not with everyone, but like to literally have like, my cameos in the video, or even like my dancers be my friends, so that they can, push those fashion envelopes with me, and be seen. It's like you can hire dancers and you can hire people, but it's like if you could have your own squad in your videos, like come on.
Absolutely. For sure. So I have one other question for you.
Yes.
I know that you were talking about you're going to be partnering with people on the visual aspect of Real One, but am I going to expect like the Lady Gaga stripped down Joanne version from you, or am I getting the Cardi B WAP with the chain link hair and the pasty cutout? Like, what am I to expect?
Well, literally, I don't know if I can answer that, because it's probably going to be a combination of both.
Okay, and I appreciate and respect that. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a combination of both, because there's certain songs that it's like if I do too much, it's gonna take away from the beauty in the record. So some things in the song, the content itself is more stripped down and vulnerable, that it doesn't call for like a fur and a colorful, whole situation. So I'll definitely say you'll get both sides. You're really gonna probably get more of the anti Joanne Lady Gaga, the more paparazzi, like.
Okay.
Because,
Yes.
at this point I have, it's 3 years, so I want to also have fun with it. You're gonna get what you're gonna get from the stripped side, the stripped down real version of it. But I have a lot of fun records that even the records, relationship records, where I can really play on, some fashions and certain concepts and visual concepts. So you're gonna honestly, I can't even really tell you, because that's the one part that I'm trying to take my creative control, and literally, I'm putting the project into the hands of the team I'm working with, and I'm giving them the music. We're gonna collectively bring together the life of the visuals and the rollout and all of that. So I'm just as, anxious to see what it's going to be as you, but you could definitely expect shock value regardless, whether it be the stripped down side that they don't expect or like, damn, like, where did he get that from? Like, so it's going to definitely be a mixture of the both.
I'm excited. I was like, maybe if I give you these two examples, it will give you some better clarity on which way you want to go. But I'm excited nonetheless to see this project come to fruition, not only visually, but I am so excited to hear your music. So,
Yes, I'm excited to hear my music.
yes, you should be. You worked so hard for that. You absolutely should be.
Yes, and it's but what I want to just leave it with to all my creatives, like it. While it is important to be visible and it's important to get your stuff out there and you want to keep up with the times, it's important to have your business together. It's important to not rush your creative process because literally you can risk a hit record by trying to throw it out a certain way. Um, and that's what I did multiple times. And then I found my little my pace, and I stuck. I stopped worrying about everyone else and how they're moving. And I'm like, things are starting to sound good. I did this song 2 years ago, and it's still giving me goosebumps. So once you start creating timeless records and things that's like, yeah, it took me a while to put it out, but I'm gonna put it out, and I'm gonna be able to, ride this thing for a while. That's what I want people to really get with Real One because it's definitely not going to be something I'm throwing out, give you a video or two, and that's it. We're definitely going to bring it to life. The way that the journey was from 3 years ago, I want to bring people through that journey with me once the project drops.
So awesome. And upon reflecting about this, like what would you say has been the most rewarding part of this journey to make this album come to life?
Um, Finding myself and even not fully finding myself, but being in a place where I am open to every part of me. You know what I mean? Because as musicians, we have the opportunity to only give people what we want to give them, and I don't think that's fun and that's not authentic. So it's like people are gonna hate you regardless. So at least if you hate me, you hating me. You're not hating a facade, or I'm not giving you the opportunity to see through the smoke and mirrors. You know what I mean? So again, that's why I mentioned Cardi B. Like people say what you want about her, musically, whatever. She's true to herself. They never take her phone out of her hands. She's literally running her Instagram, like so, and that's just the beauty of it. Finding the beauty in the struggle and just finding the beauty in yourself.
Well, I'm Team Cardi all the way, but I'm also Team Robbie Rockington. So, oh my, yes, honey.
It has
All
a
right. Yes. So everybody that's watching this needs to go check out your project. So where can we find you on social media? So that way, after they watch this, they can go follow you, stalk you, support you, love everything that you're about, listen to you. So where would we be able to find you on social media? Because I do know that you mentioned you're on basically every streaming platform, but I know that you have a connection on your IG to get to those platforms.
Yeah, so right now the main form to find me is Instagram, Robbie ROBBIE underscore Rockington. Actually, no underscore. Sorry, I just recently changed it. It's just Robbie Rockington straight through. Um, you'll be able to find my link to all of my music. I have again 2020 and Rooftop Flows A side B side singles that I released earlier this year. Those are still out, still booming. So go check those out. 2020 is a vibe. Rooftop Flows is more personal, so you get both sides of it. I also have my EP that I released in 2016, Confessions of a Stoner. That's out, so people will be able to hear that leading up to the project and really see the growth, but also kind of see like at the end of the EP where I left off and picked up with the album. So definitely check me out. The single Caution is coming very, very soon. I'm just trying to get all of the little logistics together, but I will have that out very soon and the album soon to follow.
All right. So The countdown is on.
On the way, honey.
Yes, I cannot wait. So, Robbie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. I hope that everybody goes and downloads you. And if you have a YouTube that they watch you enough that you get ad sponsorship, whatever, like we're going to make you famous just off this interview alone. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's because of your pure talent, which is why you'll be famous. But thank you so, so much for taking the time to talk to me. And please come back and hang out with us again soon.
Yes, you are a darling. I definitely look forward to speaking to you again soon. And I'm going to be looking out and supporting everything you're doing. Keep doing it, honey.
Thank you.
We got this.
Yes. Mwah. Big kisses back to you. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Of course. Absolutely. And we'll see you again soon.
Yes. Bye,
All right.
sugar.
Bye.